If you've been ambitious, but you think you're a lazy person, you're gonna wanna watch this entire video all the way till the end. Hello, howdy. And today I'm gonna talk to you about why it is that even though you're ambitious and you're lazy and so you're not achieving your goals, and exactly how to snap out of it. So I wanna start by saying, like, I am you, okay? Like, you know when you have like this big vision of what you wanna create, but then like, the lazy girl inside of you, she just wants to do nothing. She just wants to stay in the bed and all that stuff. And I spent years trying to figure out, how can I stay consistent? How can I like do the hard things? How can I hit my goals? And I figured that shit out. Like, I figured it out, okay? And so I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you how to do it, because my life has literally in the past, I wanna say 60 days, has been, I was not like a master manifester anyway, but I've just created the most epic things in the past 2 to 3 months, actually, the past 90 days, I want to say, because of what I've learned. So number one, the first thing is going to be your brain is not actually working how it's meant to work. Yes, that's number one. It's your brain. So in your brain, right, you know, we have dopamine, but dopamine is actually the hormone that leads to motivation, right? And so when we are feeding our brain with lots of like social media, very spicy, delicious tasting food, like, you know, sexual things, like all of those stuff, it gives our brain this degree of pleasure. But here's the problem. On our dopamine, like, let's say this is your dopamine baseline. I want you to just follow me here. Let's say this is your dopamine baseline. The higher your spike of dopamine, meaning how much time you're spending on social media, how much fun it is that you're having doing this thing, whatever it is. The thing is, after every peak of dopamine, there is a trough, meaning a low. And the trough is as deep as the high was high. This is why sometimes you'll hit a big goal and then after that you feel depressed. It's not like anything's wrong with you. It's just that your brain had such a high level of dopamine that now that that thing is over, you go into a trough, but the trough is like relative or like the inverse, I should say, of how high the peak was. So what happens is that wherever your dopamine baseline is, that's what the degree of your highs and lows are. It's going in relation to your baseline. And so the first thing I did was I completely reset my dopamine baseline. I made it so low. I made my dopamine baseline so low that the most boring things seemed fun. The most annoying things seemed fun. The most painful things, like exercising or working out or, you know, like whatever it was, it just seemed exciting because my baseline for dopamine was so low. So how do you reset your dopamine baseline? Well, number one, you are going to starve yourself of some of these things that are your dopamine hits, that give you dopamine hits. So for me, the first thing I did, one of the days, I completely I did water fasting. Water fasting also has like other benefits as well, but you know, you should consult your healthcare practitioner for that, because you can't come to me and tell me that, oh, I told you to do water fasting and it didn't work for you and you got sick and blah. No, go do your research. But water fasting helps because it literally allowed my brain to reset its chemistry from a biological perspective because of not eating junk food and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Now, I've done water fasting for 3 days, 5 days, you know, at about like, after you get to a certain point in your water fasting journey, your body goes into something called autophagy. And what autophagy means is your cells are basically eating the bad cells. Your body's recycling the bad cells and fixing, healing things. So I remember I told my cousin to do water fasting. She's a dancer and she had like a joint that was like damaged. And when she started to do the water fasting, her body started to heal. She had no pain, all that stuff. For me, I had extremely terrible eczema. I'll see if I can find a picture and put in here for you. I'm not supposed to be eating cheese. And I remember 2021, I was going through divorce, depression, everything that is just bad. I was going through a lot of things. And I remember emotional eating, and my eczema broke out completely. My whole body was covered with like eczema flare-ups. And I did a 5-day water fast and it completely cleared up my skin. So I'll put a picture if I can somewhere on the screen for you to see what that was like. So water fasting is very powerful, but it's also great for the dopamine in your brain because your brain is being literally starved of dopamine. The next thing I did with my dopamine detox was I completely like just told everybody I'm not on WhatsApp, like, because WhatsApp was one of the ones where it's like I had 30 something messages and I felt like, oh my God, I have to respond to these people. It was just, no, I'm not on WhatsApp. And I also like just turned off my phone. I have 2 phones. I have a work phone and I have a personal phone. I turned off my personal phone. Only my dad and my sister and my best friend have that number of my work phone. Like nobody else has that number, just those 3 people in my life. And I said, like, if anything comes up, if there's an emergency, hit me up here. Everybody else, I just said, oh, I'm off social media. And I went on a social media detox, all that stuff. And the first time I did it, it was like maybe for 2 hours. I was like, okay, for 2 hours, I cannot touch anything. I have to sit in silence. Don't touch anything. Don't read anything. Don't watch YouTube. And I starved my brain of dopamine. That was the next thing I did. So once you've done that, okay, what happens is you will immediately start to find the things that you've been procrastinating on become easier to do, because you just have your dopamine centers, your baseline is much lower. So you find more pleasure in doing things without needing to like rile up yourself to get there. Then the next thing I did was I decided to chase pain. Oh, so good. I have to make a whole other video on this. So make sure you're subscribing, because that way you can get the other videos that I make about this whole thing. But I began to chase pain. I called it hashtag pursuing pain. I was like posting stuff, and all the hashtags I was using was like hashtag pursuing pain. And what it meant was I went and I told the people who I thought would judge me, I told them my deepest, darkest secrets. I like literally like the most embarrassing, awkward, cringe, like even people who are like exes, or like I went and I told them my deepest, darkest secrets. It was so embarrassing, but it wasn't about getting their permission or their support. It was about me facing pain. Because guess what? To the degree that you face pain, your dopamine spikes to match that. Literally, the reverse is the same. The reverse in your brain is the same. So I began to chase pain. I remember I'm part of a running club, and we'd run. And I remember I was supposed to do like 5 laps. I'm not gonna lie, I got to like lap number 4 and I was done. I was like, that's it, I'm done. And I had a friend of mine who she was like, just do it, just finish it. So I had 1 more lap. So I just pushed through that last lap. But finishing that last lap, it made me, in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I did it. I'm capable of doing the hard things. And I started to have this mantra of, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. I can do hard things, right? And it just started to play into my mind of, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. So hard things are like the things I don't want to do, not because it's a hard task to accomplish, but because it's hard to get out of bed. It's hard to just like not eat the entire bag of potato chips. Like it's hard, but I can do hard things, meaning it's hard to resist, but I can resist because I can do hard things. So rewiring my brain in that way as well. The next to that was pursuing pain. So pursuing pain, because when you get comfortable facing pain, you actually are able to see the things that we are procrastinating on as not as painful, so they become actually easy to do. So that was another thing. The next thing I did was I completely reinvented my identity. But it's easy to reinvent your identity when you are pursuing pain and when you are literally not blinded by dopamine and you've done your water fast and your brain is clear. Like, trust me, it is easy to rewrite your identity because you literally are a different person. You're doing nothing like what the old you used to do. So I actually believe in like being thrown headfirst into the deep end, letting yourself be led towards what it is you want to do. So that's what I did. And the last thing that I did was so I teach a lot of somatic practices to my clients when I'm coaching them and stuff like that to help them heal their father wounds, their mother wounds, their childhood traumas. Like we go really deep in my work around healing the stuff. So if you are not practiced at actually having emotional regulation or regulating your nervous system, this one might require a little bit more practice for you. But because I'm very practiced in my emotional regulation and my nervous system regulation, I can feel when that tension comes up in my belly. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Oh my God. Because there's a difference between when something is a no, I'm not doing that, versus a, oh my God, I don't want to do that, but I know I can do it, but I probably should do it, but like, oh my God. There's 2 different frequencies. You can feel that, right? Like think about when somebody says something to you and it's just like, it's a S no. It's just like a solid no, I'm not doing that. That's a very different energy than like somebody says, oh, go record the YouTube video or go start the business. And you're like, no. Like it's a completely different no. It's a no that is actually a yes, but you're just afraid. So what I did was I started to tune into my body on a daily basis. Whenever I would feel that no, I would lean into it. I would just exhale and I would lean into it. And by the way, if you I have like make sure to check the description because I have like different free goodies and free gifts and things like that to help you if you're on your journey of like becoming your best self, becoming your most magnetic, most delicious self, like, yeah, come join the hot squad. That's what I call it, the hot squad. So you can come join the free hot squad in the description below, and yeah, come join us. But the point is, I would literally, because I knew these tools of like tuning into my body, I could feel when I would have that and I would just be like, I'm safe, it is safe, I'm safe. And I would just lean into it. And that's when I would say yes. So I would literally say yes. So I call it the yes effect. That's what I call it with my clients. I have a container called the year of yes, where, you know, ambitious women, they come in for a year, and for a year we literally do coaching, we heal the things, we have massive makeovers, we skyrocket their businesses, all that stuff. That's what I do with my clients. And so in that, it's the yes effect. And so that's where that birthed from. It was like me saying yes, right? Because me leaning into that yes, that's why I have the results I have in such a short amount of time, because I'm not letting my human mind win. I'm leaning into soul, I'm leaning into the bigger vision, I'm leaning into my calling, even if my human feels like she's not ready. So thank you for watching this video. I can't wait to do my next video. I'll see you soon, and remember to hit like and subscribe. And if you have a friend who needs to see this video, do not gatekeep. Like, let me tell you why you want to share this. You want to share this with your sisters, your friends, your besties, like biz besties, all this stuff, because the truth is, if you are growing without them, they're gonna fall away if they're not keeping up. Like, it's just a fact. Like, I literally had a girl who I thought was like a really close friend of mine. Like, I would have had her like as a bridesmaid at my wedding or something like that. And she literally saw me growing and she couldn't handle it. And she like literally fell away in the friendship. I didn't leave. She said, I'm leaving her behind. That's actually what she said. So if you have people that you love that you want to take along with you on the journey, you can send this to them. Obviously, we're never responsible for anyone else's thing, because she could have chose to have a different perspective. Other people did, and they're on the journey with me. So we cannot control what people choose to see, but just know that you becoming this next level version of you, some dead weight's gonna be falling off, and you're actually gonna be connecting to so many other people who are in alignment with where you are going and in alignment with who you say you want to be. So anyway, love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.